I just locked my girlfriend in the bathroom. Here's the key. Yo, Darius Britt here, and today we're reviewing a short film, Juniper Crescent, written and directed by Nady SGM. I think I said that right. Nady has already written and directed a few short films and parodies, all of which you can find on his website. He's no stranger to the game, he's got a couple things under his belt. So Juniper Crescent's a 27-minute-ish short film, falls into the romance, love story type category, and personally, I really liked it a lot. I'll just let you know off bat. So before I get into this review, you should probably check that out before you check this out, because I'm gonna do a lot of spoiler type shizzle. I'll leave a link in the description section so you can check it out if you haven't seen it already. Too late. Alright, let's get into it. Yeah, buddy! Wait, baby! Go! Short synopsis. A womanizing bachelor brings home another woman for a late night romp when said woman gets locked in his bathroom. I can't say I would have thought of a premise like this. I don't think many people would have, but that's kind of what makes it interesting. The title, Juniper Crescent, a little more poetic, kind of abstract. Doesn't really tell you much about the short or the genre that it's in, mainly because it's named after the street that the protagonist lives on, so there's that. But I could take it or leave it. Plot structure. The hook. Patrick wakes up in bed with a beautiful woman and literally kicks her out of bed. If that doesn't grab your attention, then you're probably just not a fun person to be around. Setup. We're introduced to our protagonist Patrick in his womanizing ways. We meet Caitlin as Patrick prepares for another empty one-night romp. Inciting Incident. Caitlin gets locked in Patrick's bathroom. Okay, wait, pause. Can we talk about the drawer full of condoms that this guy has? Bruh, how much sex do you get? Rising action. As Patrick and Caitlin figure out what to do to get her out of the bathroom, Caitlin suffers an asthma attack. They figure out a way to treat her through the door. Their relationship thaws as they get to know one another. The alarm goes off and then Caitlin falls from a tub trying to turn it off. Climax. Patrick knocks the door down to save her. Resolution. Caitlin and Patrick take a nap after the long, hectic night. It's obvious that they both care about each other now. Maybe they found love, maybe they haven't. So I like both the characters. I think they're both fairly sympathetic. Maybe not Patrick at first. He's actually a big freaking prick. But after you get to know him and understand him a little bit better and realize what prickifies him so much, then you kind of start to like him, and of course, you know, he changes and that always helps. Character arcs. Patrick goes from a womanizing bastard who never fall for a woman to falling head over heels for Caitlin. A complete 180. As Patrick and Caitlin get to know one another, we actually find out why he's such an asshole. His wife left him for another man and then took his only son away from him. There's a few setups to show how much Patrick has changed. First, Patrick doesn't allow Caitlin to smoke in the bathroom, and then once they get to know each other, he allows her to smoke. At first, Patrick isn't exactly open to the idea of breaking down the wood oak door because it's expensive, and then later on when Caitlin falls from the bathroom tub, we see him do this. He now values Caitlin's life more than his worldly possessions, or at least in that instance. The sheer contrast between the first scene and the last scene alone show how much Patrick's changed. In the first scene, he's pretty much a straight up asshole to a woman, and then in the last scene, we see another side of him. He's caring, he's considerate, he's actually compassionate. Boom! Now, Caitlin's change isn't quite as dynamic. I think the funny thing about Caitlin is how our perception of her changes. When we first meet her, she seems kind of like an airhead.
You know, for example, 7-year-old dog is like a 70-year-old human. One dog year is the same as 70 human years.
And as the film progresses, we get to know her more. We learn she's actually very intelligent, very smart, and very driven. Good writing. Both actors have really good screen presence to them. They look good in front of a camera, and I think they both have chemistry. You notice anything funny about these shots? The color palette is consistent across all of these shots. We've got various tones of white, black, blue, red. Paying attention to the use of color or having a strategy with how you use the colors in your film can make a huge difference in your production value. I think it's one of those things that's underrated a lot of the times. A lot of people just don't pay attention to how they use color. Shots. So the camera work is fairly locked down. Save for the occasional handheld shot in moments of emotional or sexual frenzy, it's fairly static. Sometimes we pan to catch Patrick moving from place to place. Now there is one transition that stood out to me. This is the first time that we actually see the camera move, and it seems to be without motivation, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. Mainly the move seems to be used to depict or illustrate the passage of time, but I think there's a little more to it than that. If they were trying to just show time passing, they could have done that any number of ways. They could have cut away to the rest of the house, shown some empty rooms and laid some music over top of it, and then cut back to our couple. They could have cut outside of the house to an establishing shot and then cut back inside. They could have faded from the shot of her to a shot of him. There are a number of ways they could have shown time passing, but why did they choose to pan the camera. I think the camera move is there to visually indicate that a transition's happening in the story. It's to show that our characters are moving from being strangers with no connection at all, stuck in an awkward situation, to two people and establishing an emotional connection with each other. But that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe they did it just cause. Pretty sure that's probably why they did it. So here's one thing that I really liked from a directorial storytelling standpoint. The opening image and the closing image are the exact opposite of one another. We start the film off with Patrick and a woman in bed, distant, facing away from each other, and then we end the movie with Patrick in bed with a woman, only this time they're close and he's facing her. And the contrast between them visually shows, again, the journey that Patrick goes on. It's little itty bitty details like that you don't see very often, but they can really make your work stand out. Now there's an abundance of white walls in this film, and usually I hate white walls, but in this case it's okay because it's clearly a stylistic choice to illustrate the empty, sterile aspect of Patrick's life. Again, this is an example of what you can do with limited resources. You've got 3 actors, 1 house with multiple rooms, and a good story. Now in this case, of course, the filmmakers went out of their way and built 2 of those rooms in a soundstage or whatnot, but I mean, you can still get that same effect. It would just take you a little more location scouting to find what would work for you. A little more legwork, but it's still very, very doable. I definitely think it's worth a watch if you're into filmmaking. If you're not, however, into romantic, sentimental type, love stories, then you probably shouldn't check it out. You might not like it. You might get sleepy. If you are, you should check it out. I think you would enjoy it. So what do you guys think? Did you hate it, love hating it, hate loving it? Leave a comment in the description section, down there. Let me know what you thought. I liked it, but maybe you're the only one who liked it. I don't know. I'll leave a link in the description section for some of the behind the scenes, featurette that they did. It's not very extensive, but it's a good little watch. Well, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like or subscribe. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can also check my second YouTube channel, DARIOUS BRITT, where I vlog about my first feature-length film on sound on the film festival circuit, live casting, vlogs, etc., etc. I do believe that's all I got for you. Damn, I'm so fast. Deeper out.